Yo guys, what's up? We're back with the ShokkJump Dragsta one more time. Might do that again on Thursday, who knows. Absolute superstar, Liang and Honor Sanguinius both subbing that. Liang for 9 months. I don't know why this is a thing now when my sub ends in 2 days. Twitch is being weird. Twitch is clearly being weird. And Honor Sanguinius got his 3-month sub in. Because both of you guys got a new badge. So, thank you for the support. In the chat so far tonight, we got Viking, Dez, Tilts, Too Many Sprues. He's having a great night, obviously. Snake Plissken, Too Many Sprues, thank you for that host. And Dez as well from earlier on, thank you for the host too. So how's everyone doing? In response to the chat's questions, I'm doing well. I'm wearing Hollister and the Beard Struggle. There you go, that's what I'm wearing. Crooked Grin, AJ Sadler, what up? Glad Lenny got there safe and sound. Tilts, thank you for the host. And Crooked Grin, it's 5 AM, I played Valorant up till now and I've working 4 hours. Damn, son. Valorant's a game by Riot. I haven't played it at all yet. Is it good? AJ, Gitface, thank you guys for those hosts as well. Much love to you all. So how's everyone's week going so far? It is Tuesday. What have you guys been up to? I've been getting Blood Angels painted. We're nearly done. I've got 3 jobs left to do on the Blood Angels, and they're finished. CSGO with abilities like Overwatch, much more casual for my boom reactions as killer. Yeah, alright. Danny, how's it going? Gumbalina, Jason, what up, everybody? Right, let's get to it. We're going to do a little bit of work on the crew, and then we're going to hit all the metallics, I think. We got more metallic stuff to do on these guys? I don't think so. I'm trying. We've got a few little bits and pieces here and there. We'll touch them up at the end. This guy's got his grenades or whatever the hell. This is meant to be like ammo, I think, maybe for the big gun. Who knows? Who knows? Let's get all this out of the way. So we've styled these guys like Kit Miles from Ford GT40 fame. Hence the very pale blue outfits they've got on them. The little bit of red stripe. We're going to give this guy a white racing helmet. That's just got to be done. Three jobs. Build them, paint them, post them. That's usually accurate. We've stopped doing one of those jobs. It's got done on a D&D session. I've been blessed by my DM. I have a 2+ great axe at level 5. I'm just going to do this. I don't know if that's good at level 5. Danny, that's awesome, bro. That's good to hear. Hopefully I've got a good enough connection so you can see it clearly in 1080p. That's what really matters, right? So let's just grab some of this red. We're going with some Kato red, and we're just going to hit some highlights. We'll mix in a little bit of yellow, just to get really nice pop-tight highlights. Oh, there's some metallics on here. We've got this like bracelet thing to do. He's got a watch on, so probably some metallic base coats to do as well. Get a power line adapter worth 30 quid. Bro, I have one. It's there. That's exactly how I can get internet to this PC, because the router is upstairs. And Ben has a wired connection, so frequently gets speeds of like 50 to 60 down, and Lord knows what upwards. Yes, definitely, dude. That sounds epic. I didn't know this was a thing. So, yeah, Ben's got the the wired connection, I could run a wired connection all the way down here, but because I can't drill through the floor, which is annoying because it would literally just run across the ceiling, down a cupboard and round a bit of tiling, and it'd be done. Yeah, it would be about they go around the ceiling. Let's call it 90 foot of cable. Yeah. Kawahiri! How you doing, bro? It feels like a long time, man. Thank you for that sub. That's 9 months for you as well. Oh, bro. How's things? It's really nice. Every now and again, you catch a name in the chat and you're like, I haven't seen that person in ages. The AND connection is fine. Connection is fine. So we got a power link adapter. The power cable that it has to go through is very, very short. Well, actually, I have no idea how long the power cable is. Thinking about it, I've never seen the inside of wiring of my house, but it goes from there to there, and that's it. So. Nice, Danny. Yeah, as long as your wiring's okay, it's totally fine. Like, there's no issue as long as your house is relatively modern, and whoever did the wiring in the walls made sure it was all up to code and everything else. It'll take the connection, no issue. If that isn't the case, then it's not going to be so good. It's just not. Alright, let's get these two Gimboids sorted out. Really, that's been going okay. Changed to a different department of work, so I've been more focused on stuff, but now getting the hang of it. So nice, dude. Wait, are you at work now? Bro. I appreciate the support. Just don't get your ass canned. One day I'll stream and have the printer running in a little window. Nice. Yeah, Liang, there's a little bit of extra ping, but it's honestly not bad. Like, I'm looking at about 18 ms if I want to play LOL, which is actually less than I used to get in one of my old houses. I've just realised we missed the red wristbands on this guy, so I'll mix up some more of that base colour in a sec and do that. Stu, what up, bro? Let's run LAN cables over the house, much easier. See, I would if it wasn't such a long distance. And the cable for something like that, for like the gold-plated Ethernet cable and everything else, is not cheap. And even then, it's still worth it. But this solution didn't require me to do any of that. It cost me about 25 quid. And the only issue I've ever had with it is after a power cut, you don't always, but you might have to reset it. Depends on how long the power's been out for. And that's fine. It takes a couple of minutes of pissing about, and it's not entirely fun, but it's okay. Bansel Storms! Cheers, bro. It's all good. I've seen the bosses. I'm sure I could take any. Yeah, man. I'm pretty sure that's been the case everywhere I've worked. So. But unfortunately, they then have this wonderful thing called the human resources team that they just ask you to go out anyway. That's it. Awesome, dude. No worries. No worries. Glad it all got there. Everything got sent yesterday. Everything got sent yesterday. There are 2 people that I'm still waiting on to message me back on Twitch, and bollocks, they have not. So until they do, they will not get a prize. And if they don't message me back in, like, I don't know, a couple of weeks, somebody else will get a prize. I'm good, mate. I'm good. Putting up my hands there, 59x. Why would you even need to hook it up twice? Like, I don't understand that. That makes no sense. Well, to me, at least. Commissar Bob, what up, bro? Good to see you, mate. You take care. Thanks for dropping by to say hi. That's another name that feels a little bit like long time no see, but hope you're doing okay, bro. Mad Goat, how you doing? I'm doing well, thank you. We're getting through some Ork boys. These are for the ShokkJump Dragsta. We've given them some very old school style racing uniforms. We're going to do a white hat in a minute. So if you guys haven't watched the YouTube video, how to paint white, well, you're in for a treat. Because now you can watch it, and then when you forget how to do it, you can just go and watch the video and get a recap. Right, have these all got hats? He's got more of a bionic eye. He's got a hat. Has he got a hat? Let me have a look in the bloody picture. Pino Moxin, how you doing? Crownblade, good evening. Stuart Acted, dude, thank you very, very much. The postage was real. Like, I was hoping it'd be slightly less than it was. Right, no, he's just got a bionic eye. You see just half of his head. There you go, you just get half a head. So he's just linked up. This part, oh, you can't see it. This part, the squig, is lost forever. That part came off when we were doing the assembly, hit the deck. It has been completely lost in the void. No one will ever find that. So there is no squig. And I was very upset by this, because squig. But I got over it pretty quickly, so I'm hoping you guys will too. No decent hobby place for Game Center in Birmingham, Jay. Moving to Tamworth from the work, so Brum is very close. Mate, the one and only Glasshammer is not too far away. They're in, begins with a T, but it's not Tamworth, I don't think. But yeah, check out Glasshammer. I don't know where they'll be in relation to you. There's a couple of Games Workshops. I know that. Let's see. There's one in Solihull. Other than that, I'm a bit of a loss, to be honest, mate. I try and avoid Birmingham. Telford, that's it. Telford, I'm with a T. Yeah, try and avoid Birmingham. I've got family there, and that always made me feel like really shit about going to Birmingham because they're just douchebags. Boom. Those two boys done. Let's get this guy done. Last time it's 45-minute drive. Okay. Isn't that a good life choice? Yes. I used to run a restaurant in a place called Star City, which is not too far outside of Birmingham. I was talking about this today. And we'd frequently see at least one, if not two, ambulances every weekend because people had been assaulted there or like worse, basically. It was like the odd stabbing and so on. And at one point there was it was some sort of religious festival, and I was talking about this earlier on. I couldn't remember what it was, but I want to say it was like a festival of light or something along those lines. And it started off as like obviously people being happy and festival and like yay, go for lights, I guess. And then it became a riot. Froglay Studio, dude, how's it going? How's your stream, man? Let's get some love in the chat for the absolute madman that is Froglay Studio. If you guys want to see some of those pretty damn sexy McFarlane Marines converted up into something new and improved, because the pastime is over, John, then that's where you want to go. How's your stream, brother? Who would win the Bikini Jelly Wrestling match? Brush for Hire or Mohawk? Which Brush for Hire? Which Brush for Hire? Pino, cheers for the follow. Because 3 away from 200. Is that follows or subs? Either way, that's great, dude. Detrimental, how's it going? Thanks for that follow. Mr. Frog will explain. I'd back myself in any kind of wrestling match. I'm not entirely certain I'd fit into a bikini. Like, need some significant, like, you know, sarang, I guess. Right, we're gonna need that, and we're gonna need that. You have to wrestle both at once. Are they a tag team? Is it a handicap match? Because I feel that that's... If you advertise it as a handicap match, it might be true for multiple reasons, and I'm not gonna discuss those myself, but I will let the chat carefully go wild with that. So, yeah, I'd back myself in any wrestling match, bro. I think if it was Corey, like Brush for Hire UK, then he's at a significant disadvantage because he's just too nice. I don't think he's got that killer instinct. So I think like he'd throw a punch and then afterwards would stop and check if I was alright. So I feel in that environment, like I've got him beat straight away. Straight up handicap. Have they got a tag in? Or is it literal, like, straight up 2-on-1? That's... Damn. Interesting, tell me a story topic. You know, why not? What am I doing tonight? We are working on the ShokkJump Dragsta. We're doing some work on the crew for it. I'd like to get this mini finished, aside from the base, which we're waiting on some brand new Rival Crafts stuff that's going to be coming out very soon. I'm very excited to work with that. But yeah, I want to get this finished between now and the end of Thursday stream, if possible. Because earlier on this week, in fact yesterday night, we put together Raikonor the Summoner, which is a fucking cool model. Like, that's not going to be fun to paint quite a lot, but it's going to be good. It's going to be a lot of interesting like gradients and stuff we can get away with on it. And I'm thinking we adopt a completely different, very unusual for me style of painting, which is to Valhalla painting! Dude! Thank you for the raid. That's like 2 raids in 10 minutes. You guys are awesome. Much appreciated, bro. Welcome to the stream, everyone. If you can give Valhalla Painting a follow. I don't think I follow them, so I'm definitely about to myself. There you go, man. How's things? How's your stream? What were you up to? What was today? Kick you from the Raiders. The Paint House, how's it going? And Valhalla, cheers for that follow. You've joined during a conversation about what would happen if I had to wrestle both Brush for Hires in a 2-on-1 handicap match. So I'm still trying to puzzle it out. Like I said, I think Corey, like Brush for Hire UK, too nice. However, other Brush for Hire also has a mohawk. And therefore that makes him immediately cool as fuck. So I don't know. That maybe just the fact there were 2 of them could tip the scales in their favor. The real question that nobody asked, and so I feel I'm going to have to now, just so we can get past it, is what flavor jelly is this? Like, if we're jelly wrestling, I mean, are we talking like lime? I feel, as an Englishman, you know, occasionally known as a limey, that might give me the Paint House. What is with the raids today? Dude, thank you very much for the raid. Frog Lane, you take care. Everyone, let's get some love in the stream for both of the recent raiders, the Paint House and Valhalla Painting. I'm going to give the Paint House a follow, because this is someone that's new to me. Boom, there you go, man. Thanks for the raid. What was your stream? What were you doing? French painters? Excellent, dude. Trying to remember my French. I'm not going to be able to. Bonne nuit. Yeah, that's about it. Like, my brain's not working very well with, well, in general. So we'll just go with that. Mike comes to the ring for the save, and a new staple is born. Mohawk World Order! Yes. Yes. I feel Mikey with the save is a little bit like trusting a crocodile with chicken nuggets, you know? Like, it could work out in your favor. Chances are pretty good. No. Mikey would probably miss. That's right. Like, one of them would be there with a pin cover. Mikey would come in with the Hellstorm Elbow, the most electrifying move in tabletop entertainment. And they'd roll out of the way, and the next thing I know, I'm taking the Hellstorm Elbow to the head. And that's the end of the match. That's the way it would be. So, yeah, I'm not sure I want Mikey coming in for a save. And can you imagine having Mikey in your corner? Like, getting a tag off of him would be like him doing a giveaway. Like, it might happen in a week, but you're going to miss quite a lot. You reckon Mikey's there for a heel turn? I don't know, that'd be a face turn. Like, I'm definitely the bad guy. I'm always going to be the heel. Might have a finishing move called the giveaway. It would last ages. Yes. Yes, it would. Right. Oh, he's winding up for the giveaway. Come back in 20 minutes. Matt Manor tries, how dirty you want that fighting to get? George, 23 months. Mate, superstar. I really, really hope we get any information back at all, in fact, from the Twitch partnership team. Still have heard absolutely nothing about partnership. And I really hope we get it, just so I can make sure that next month you get a 2-year badge. Paint House, peace out, man. Thank you again for the raid. We'll see you soon. Somehow, because of Frog Lane Studio, we've ended up on the topic of conversation of basically Twitch streamers as wrestlers. And I'm not going to lie, this is a fun conversation. I'm liking it a lot. You end up knocked off the ring in the bits box. I mean, that would be pretty horrible. That'd be the equivalent. That's the 40k wrestling equivalent to Cactus Jack pulling out the thumbtacks. That's where that gets you. So, oh my God, he's in the bits box. He's busted wide open. That's where you go. Drunk Mystic, Mr. Chillmore. How's it going, folks? Cheers, George. Take care, man. Have a good evening. Right, first highlight is a mixture of white ink and Celestra Grey. The base coat is just Celestra Grey. That's all. So we're going to hit almost everything with this. Just leaving some of the recesses. Mike unloads a bag of dice. Way. Mike's finishing move, not be the hedge trimmer after we assaulted his can with that chainsaw. Well, Mikey would definitely bring foam chainsaw to the ring. That would be his weapon. I think mine would have to be... Oh, I don't know. What would my weapon of choice be? It might have to be the airbrush, but like... Oh, God, can you imagine, like, compressor just being swung around like a fucking spiked ball? I don't wrestle, but I'm a black belt in judo, first dan. Nice, dude. Best hook, the airbrush in the zip. Awesome. Surely Mikey's finish would be a big boot called String Kicker. Oh, here it comes. It's Mohawk with the waffle stomp. Oh no. No. Can't have that as a finishing move. That's clearly Nick McDade's finishing move. God, what will my finish be? Like, obviously, I'd want it to be my old finishing move, the old snakebite DDT, but that's my finishing move, not the new wrestling persona of Mohawk Miniature's finishing move. He needs to have his own individual finishing move. It'd be the Swoldemort DDT. Good job, Warhams does not use D4s. They're Letha stood on. Yeah, man. They used to. Like a long time ago. Right. A long time ago. Even I know that is a Star Wars thing. I need a Star Wars nerd to help me out. Okay? And I know the stream is full of them. I finally finished watching The Mandalorian. And I'm about to go with some spoilers. So if you haven't watched it, and chat, no spoilers yet. Chat, if you haven't watched it, now is the time to just like turn down the volume, and I'll do this when you can turn the volume up again. But you might also not want to read the chat, so that's a weird one. Yeah, good luck. If you haven't watched it, then do your best. Why is Luke Skywalker in his 20s at the end of The Mandalorian, is it meant to be like a prequel to some stuff? Or is he a clone? Or is he a baby again? Or takes place soon after. Oh! Well, that makes fucking sense. I didn't know that. Cool. Did they tell you that at the start? Because I missed it. I totally missed it. Mentioned Death Star being destroyed, but there were... Hang on. I have seen the films. Were there not Death Stars in the films as well? Like, I know in episode 4 and episode 6 there were Death Stars and they were destroyed. Were there not Death Stars in the later films, like episode 9 and so on? I have no idea how any of this shit works. No. Right. Okay. Cool. Well, I'm glad the super nerds were on hand to help out with that, because I was lost. Like, why is there baby Luke? More importantly, how much CGI was that to make Mark Hamill look young again? Stir fry is easy. It's not exactly get out, 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 get out. It looked good. It did look good. Yeah. Right. Well, today I learned. So absolutely not a chance. Absolutely not a chance. Why would you want Rouge One to exist? Is that the Star Wars film where they run around and the rebels are pretend to be like Avon ladies to go undetected throughout the Empire? I quite like Rogue One, actually. Like, as a film, I'm quite happy to just sit and watch that. I've got no issues with it whatsoever. And I'm not someone that is like a Star Wars like super fan by any stretch of imagination. But yeah, I quite liked Rogue One. I thought that was a good film. I liked the cast. The action was good. The story was good. The actors could act, unlike some of the ones in the regular Star Wars films. Like the super emo dude in one of the later films. My God, he can't act at all. Happy to... No. No, I figured if they're Mando virgins, I can probably stay away. Now that they've not heard that. Dear oh dear. The puns in the chat are getting like out of hand tonight. I'm gonna need the mods to definitely enact some punishment. These are just terrible. These are all terrible. I'm just gonna not read like certain names in the chat from now on. You've literally, as far as I'm concerned, you're dead to me. Alright, let's paint some of these details red. Then we've got some metals to do. We've got some orc skin to do. I'm just going to do a very simple workup from green. It's going to look cool, but it's going to be a simple workup, not like the purple one that we did for the whatchamacallit, Gurzag, one of the two. Let's get these lenses because they're cool, super cool. Oh, dear, dear, Gambelina. Just no. Just gonna get these sunnies painted in black quick. And oh wait, it doesn't matter if we go on the green, because there is no green yet. And if we get any on the white, we haven't done our final highlight on it yet, so we're okay. Cubies. Right. Let's get some gunmetal. Dear oh dear, the chat is terrible tonight. What are these puns? These puns are some of the worst you've come up with. I blame Danny. And Tilts, I think that was a definite. Sorry, yeah, not Tilts. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Tilts, that was a definite try hard. Working too hard for that pun. Definitely working too hard for that pun. Brilliant. Great. God almighty. Puns, just no. No. These are just awful. Like, right, we need something to distract from the puns. So, let's see. Talked about the Bellicor. We haven't talked about it. There we go. Dark Eldar rules. Dark Eldar rules got previewed today. Way, there we go. Let's not talk about fucking puns in the chat. Today are worse than they've ever been. Normally they're at least funny, but today they're just groan-worthy. Unbelievably groan-worthy. Danny, your copy-paste definitely failed on that one. So now we know that you've taken puns and they're not even yours. You've just been exposed as being faker than anything. Faker than anything. So yes, today we had Drukhari rules. We've also got the vote going on, and actually in the vote, this is it's turning around again. Every single time, I think we're in a place where that's it. We've got a deciding like number of votes, and like you're not going to beat that. Nids are in the win. Nids are in the winning position. So currently, Tyranids at 173 votes. Sisters of Battle at 157. Yesterday, when I looked, it was literally neck and neck. Those two, same amount of votes. Fucking crazy, right? So, it's good. Tilts, none of that shit. None of that shit at all. So, that's really cool. Coming up soon, we'll have the votes for things like color scheme and so on, regardless of what army it is that wins. Like, if Space Wolves pull off a surprise win, then at this point it would be a surprise win, let's be honest now, boys. But if they pull it off, then we'll have a vote for, do you want Space Wolf or like a completely different faction? So there's loads of options for it. And if it's things like Nids, then we'll do like we'll narrow down 10 color schemes because there's loads you can do for Nids, and go from there. Brilliant. It's all right. Yeah. I know exactly where he lives. So, poisonous amphibians for Nid's color scheme. Okay. We're thinking like tree dart frogs and whatever they're called. Yeah. Stuff like that. Very cool. I'd be down. Any more metallics other than whatever the hell? I think it's just a bit he's holding on to. A bit of superstructure or something. High Fleets to Below. I know you want it. I know you want it. Did the Tyranids win? Well, Wamposaurus, the vote continues until Sunday night. At the end of the stream on Sunday, that's when the vote will be concluded. So you still have to campaign. If you guys are after a particular army to win, then go and get people to vote. Go and get your friends to vote. Go and get your family to vote. Like, Mum, just click this page and do this. Like, whatever. Maybe you're part of various Facebook groups, or like you've got a large following on something like Twitter, or that kind of thing. Or go and post it there. And Des, no, I realized yesterday I hadn't. We didn't do it on Sunday. I was dead on Sunday. I was very, very tired, Jay. But they're right here next to me. So you guys know that Ripper Jackson is one of the giveaway minis. This is cool. Very, very, very cool miniature. Hopefully, at some point she gets picked, because I really would like to paint her. The other mini that was picked by the Patreon community, remember, anyone that's a video viewer or higher voter does get to help choose the giveaway prizes, is the Lord of Virulence. And this is such a cool mini. Like, the nutsack is a little... Probably won't... No, probably won't do that. Wouldn't do him, no Des, but he'd do you. But it's a great mini, either way. Like, the details on this guy is sick. He's got this awesome cape that's like a weird skin thing going on. I really, really like that. Things like extra detail on the power fist. Really like the gloop that's coming down. This is just really, really cool. Love this mini. I've also sorted out the mystery box. Exclamation point mystery for a bit more information about that, but it won't solve the mystery. You'll have to just wait and win and choose a mystery box at the end of the month stream. Comradson, what up, dude? How's it going? Metal Burner and A Cold. How's everyone doing? So yeah, there's some cool minis up for grabs this month, and I'm really looking forward to it. Would you guys like a clue about what's in the mystery box? I'm not going to tell you what's in it, but would you like a clue, like a little tip as to what might be in there? Timmy says no, so that's it. No. Tilts wants a clue, but he gave us some shit puns earlier on, so his vote is completely like... So no clues. I never give clues, I'm going soft. That's a good point. We do never give clues. Yeah, no clues. Have you ever considered that Tyranid medical amazement Hazard Stripes? Master Mouse, have you not seen the Hazard Stripe Genius of the Occult Patriarch that we did? Every now and again, he's in here. Bright yellow, black blue stripes. And may I just say that is the finest of all Tyranid schemes. Absolutely the best of all Tyranid schemes. Got a link. You'll see it in the gallery. But he's on my Instagram. You can go and check that out. You'd have to search through it for a little while. I think that was maybe even pre-lockdown last year we did that one. No, it can't have been, because January was the Swarm Lord. Maybe it was April. So it was a while back. It was definitely some time ago. Social. Well done. Do you need a separate Instagram link? And by need, I mean like need. Because surely having them all together is better. Alright, have we got belt buckles to do on these guys? Yes. Cheers, bro. There you go. Timmy and Des have found some. Well done, boys. Top mod and senior apprentice, I feel. After Jaeger's punning earlier on. He's just gone down in my estimation. It's not who I thought it was. Yeah, Malchete it was. That was last January. That was the High Fleet Stabilo Swarm Lord that went to Des. That was a good one. Because that was sponsored. That was a sponsored giveaway for the stream by Matt from Wooden Spoon Wargaming. Top lad. Top lad. Yeah, for sure. What's that YouTube link that's just got thrown in here? Oh, that's mine for Winspoon. Yeah. Literally couldn't see my name there. For some reason, the Mohawk bot has just decided that it wants to be nearly black on this very dark black-ish, dark grey background. Like, cheers, bot. You're not helping me out right there. Just in case he goes around any corners too fast, he's had the foresight of wearing the brown trousers. I reckon you need to speak to Timmy about getting some bike riding lessons, mate. He must be able to ride a bike. How funny would it be if he couldn't ride a bike and all he does is assemble bikes? But anyway, we've talked about the giveaway at the end of the month. I'm going to talk to you, actually, serious talk, real talk. Real talk. I need to have some real talk right now about next month's giveaway. So, next month's giveaway is going to be slightly different. Next month is April. April is the month of the stream's anniversary. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We've got a very long weekend stream planned. Probably looking at doing, ideally, 2 14-hour streams rather than like 17 and 24. Because that fucking slayed me. That was... Well, we didn't even make the 24. We did 22 this time around, which I felt really shit about. But, damn. That was extremely tough. So we're hoping to not have to do that. What we're going to do, though, is as part of the stream birthday giveaway, it's a raffle-based system. Now, you can't run raffles on Twitch from a perspective of, like, people buy tickets through Twitch, but you can have a donation that produces currency, because that's supported by Twitch. And you can have a giveaway that is bought using your in-stream currency, and that is supported by Twitch. So, whilst it's against the Twitch terms of service to run a raffle by selling tickets through Twitch, it seems that it's okay to do what we normally do with things like our monthly voucher giveaway, and so on. And so, when we raffle off this army we're giving away during the stream's birthday, instead of doing what I was going to do, which was to host the raffle on a alternate site that you'd probably have to register an account for, register your card details with, buy tickets, go through their payment provider, they take a cut out of the raffle, which would not impact me, but it would impact the number of prizes that we could give, essentially. And so on. I've decided, with the help of the stream, because we talked about this last stream, that we will do the raffle in the stream using Meeps as our channel currency to buy your tickets. That looks like it's meant to be a steel toe cap. I think it is. I'll come back in and hit that in a sec. I'm going to do him steal these bits. He's got bare feet. Right. So, instead of what we would normally do with our £50 hobby voucher being given away on the last stream of the month, we're going to give it away a week early. So, in April, on what I believe is the 20th. No, that didn't sound right. 22nd? 22nd. Yeah. On the 22nd, we will do the £50 hobby voucher giveaway. After that's been done, I'm going to zero out everyone's channel currency. So you'll lose all of your Meeps. Which means that any that you have gained through being a sub, by watching, by gifting subs, by donating, by any of the other means that you can gain meeps. You will lose them. This is the very, very first time we've done this. I will normally allow the currency to carry over from one month to the next. There are people that have been in the stream for a few minutes at one point during a raid, left the stream, never come back, they've still got their meeps. So, we never do this normally. And that's why you're getting plenty of notice, because I want everyone to be able to use their meeps for the giveaway this month and the giveaway next month, so they've got time to get them spent. That's the important thing, right? I don't want you guys to miss out. But what we will do... Gumlina, okay, cool. What we will do is talk about this several times between now and then to remind everyone to use their meeps. We will have raffle tickets for probably 10,000 meeps per ticket, and a donation of £5 will give you enough meeps to buy that ticket. We will also do like incentives, so if you donate £15, you'll get enough to buy a fourth ticket. If you donate £50, you'll get enough to buy 5 additional tickets, same as we did before. So buy 3, get 1 free, buy 10, get 5 free. So same as the old raffle style, none of that has changed. But the way that we're doing it is changing a little bit. Hopefully that makes sense to everyone. And hopefully everyone's all okay with that. Because unless you've got a completely better system for me, that's what we're going with. It also means that the giveaway, because it's all handled through Twitch, we can just pull the prize winners directly from the bot. The only, I won't say issue, because it's not really an issue. I don't think I do when I do it, but if I do, then that's really sad. I have to double check all the workings for it. Hope not. I really like that stat. It's a good stat. So yeah, it just means that everything is transparent. The only issue, which like I said, or was trying to say, isn't really an issue, is that I will have to manually credit people their meeps as and when they do a donation. The reason that I will be doing it rather than the mods isn't because I don't trust the mods, because I really do. That's why they're mods. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I've never done that either. That might be an option to do. But the reason I'll be doing it rather than the mods is because that way it's completely transparent. If one of the mods wins anything, there's no possible way that they've influenced it. It's just myself. And I want them to be able to enter. Like, if for whatever reason the community decides that High Fleet Stabilo needs some reinforcements, and that is the army that's voted in, then I want theirs to be able to enter and try and win some extra nids. If you could have a second currency, that would be cool. But I think you'd probably need a second bot for that. And I don't want to trust a bot that I've never used to something as important as this. But yeah, there's other options, I guess. If anyone's got some really, really good suggestions, then please feel free to share. This has always been a very community-run thing. That will never change. Cheers, yeah. I have to put my law down on paper to campaign for High Fleet Stabilo. You will. Snake, take care, bro. God, it's tasty. Right, any more brown? No, pretty sure we've hit all of that. Cool beans. Let's highlight that up. Gonna use some, because it's on my palette. What's this, like Zamisi Desert or something from Games Workshop? It's kind of a weird dark mustard colour. Using it to paint Blood Angel's hair with earlier on. Melchete! Dude. How you doing, man? Thank you very much for that sub. 8 months now with Prime. Absolute boss. Much love, brother. But yeah, all that going on. I've got some prizes for... Well, I've got some prizes planned for several places. Basically, it depends on how many tickets we sell as to how many prizes there are. But we've already got second place planned, and second place not as good as first place. Otherwise, that would kind of defeat the object of first place having a good prize and being the best prize. The second place prize is hot damn. That's what the second place prize is. It's gonna be a good one. Gonna be a good one. Brilliant. Shane, no random takeaways being delivered to your house like Hellstorm had? No, like... It's like I still got a link up. No. Mikey sent me this fucking link earlier on today. It was like Stream Treats or something like that. Or Treat Streams. I can't remember. I looked at it, I'm like, nah, bro, I'm not doing that. That's just skanky. It's where you can set this thing up. So, Bad Company Painting. Damn, we're getting all the raids tonight. Thank you very much, dude. Really appreciate it. How are you? How is your stream? Got a couple of shout outs in the stream already. Do go and give Bad Company Painting a follow. I'm literally doing that right now. Bam. There you go, bro. How is your stream? What were you up to today? What was your, what you working on? How's things? Purple Links, what up? Cheers, bro. Thank you. Purple Links, much appreciated as well. We're just talking about a thing that happened on the Hellstorm stream I was in last night. Retro Space Crusade Marines. Oh, mate. That game was the absolute stuff back in the day. I loved that. Blue Dice 3. Cheers for the follow. Time for a film. Nice. What film? Well, you might be gone by now, but enjoy the film at least. Take care, bro. Good to see you as always. Yeah, we ended up with... I know who it was, but somebody sent Mikey a pizza last night, which threw him entirely. He's like, what the fuck is going on? Why have I got a pizza? I didn't order this. Are you sure this isn't for another house? And his missus answered the door, and she's like, why did you order a pizza? I've got dinner going. So, hijinks ensued, shall we say. And anyway, he sent me this link. Stream treats, treat streams, whatever it was. And I thought, I can't possibly sign up to that. Just no. I'm not going to ask my fucking chat to buy me food. That's the skankiest, skeeziest thing I could think of doing. So, yeah, if you see that link, please don't enable people like that. That just... However, on a similar note, I did get an email from Uber Eats saying, hey, you signed up but you've never used our service. As an incentive, here's £15 off your first order of £15 or less. Right? No, £15 or more. Right? So who's going to give me free food? So tomorrow is takeaway. You don't have to ask. We just buy the pints. I mean, I'm not going to ask anyone for beer either. In fact, there are a lot of people that have offered to send me beer. Actually, so far not a single one has. But you know, because they're fighting for that IPO soon, boosting users. Ah, nice. Nice. That's definitely one to be getting in on. Get some investments down in Uber. I don't know what day that is. Hang on a minute. Another raid. Sakinicus, thank you for the follow. But the real Hootsman is raiding with a party of 15. Dude. Thank you very, very much for that raid. How is your stream? There's a shout out already in the chat, courtesy of Too Many Sprues, Chief Apprentice Mod. Oh, I already follow you. There we go. I've already got that follow down. How's your stream, man? We've got Zero Bonsai Gaming, Scorpiloo, Real Hootsman, Danath, Alave. I don't know how to pronounce that one, sorry. And Mayfolk TW doing a Vortex piece. Oh, nice, bro. Really cool mini that you literally never see on the tabletop. I don't think I've ever seen one at all. A-Cold, no man, I'll be buying you beer. Like, don't fight me on this. It's going to be a two-way street, you can guarantee. And, not depending on how I'm doing, not during the event either. Like that's the other thing. Really couldn't find anything anywhere. Yeah, I know, right? The Bananastasia, cheers for the follow and welcome to the stream. Now, Vortex Beasts and like the Mutalith thing, they look really, really cool. Honestly, they're one of the most interesting minis in that entire faction's like range. They're cool, but you just don't see them. Zero Bonsai Gaming, cheers for the follow. Man, that beard/mohawk combo is on point. It is the freshest mohawk on Twitch right now. This was done yesterday, so it's not like 100% fresh, but it's pretty goddamn fresh. This is the true haircut of the apocalypse because it's the only one you can actually just do by yourself in front of your bathroom mirror. So... this guy I know has got his back to the audience, like the viewers. He's in the car, he stood on the seat, so I don't think you can see the back of his pants, but we've highlighted them anyway, just on the off chance. Yeah. Needs more Daka. I mean, he's got a grenade. Alright? And he's got a lot of grenades. He's got a grenade belt. So that's quite a lot of Daka. This has more like Bodicea than Daka, I think. I think that's definitely what we're looking at here. But it's a big yellow car. Who doesn't love that? Got grenades. Needs more Daka. Fair. How do you know when you've got enough Daka? Like, what's the point where you're like, need more arms to carry the Daka? Or is it just literally at that point where you need extra limbs to carry the Daka? I want to lick that yellow. You can't lick that yellow. However, if you'd like to find out how to paint that yellow so you could lick it yourself, exclamation point YouTube, go and subscribe there. You can see a video I edited went up last week on Friday about how to paint that yellow. And then this Friday, the written guide on how to paint that will be up on Patreon. Liamski, how you doing, bro? Then the Daka needs to be optimized to allow for more Daka. Okay. Optimized Daka. Right. I really like the new take on doing a video. Oh, good. I'm glad, dude. Yeah, if anyone's got any feedback about that. So I did something a little bit different in that video that we didn't do on the rest, which is I had a tripod set up. I say a tripod, it was a really, really shit, like one of those ones that's literally for a phone camera, supported by my wet palette, a book, I think it was a Marine Codex, my wet palette, and a cigar box. Metal burner, absolutely, dude. Put it in the Discord, in the whip. There you go. Timmy's got you covered. You can't go and believe it will work, and sure enough, you've got more Daka. I mean, at that point, I feel you're just doing a Ripley. And there's nothing wrong with doing a Ripley. So that's okay. We can allow that. But yeah, in the video, we set up a camera, and there was a little bit of like me talking rather than it just being like the top-down view. So if anyone else has got anything, like any comments, then please, let's have it. Always looking for feedback to help improve, because at the end of the day, I think I'm doing a good job, but I don't know I'm not unless somebody says this was a bit shit. So let me have it. I'm doing well, dude. I'm doing really well. We're getting on with your car. And hoping to have this guy finished by Thursday, although we've been working for a little over an hour now this evening. All we've done is like tidy up these guys. We haven't even got to their skin tones yet, so Thursday might be a stretch. And the base won't be done by Thursday because we're waiting for Rival Crafts to get all their new stuff in, and then we can road test the Rival Crafts new stuff by making a road out of it to do a literal road test. You blame the puns. I think a lot has to be answered for with the puns we had earlier on today. They were shocking. They were shocking. Yeah, these guys have got some fairly serviceable trousers now. Nothing that's like going to detract from the overall tone of the miniature. Don't want that at all. And now it's time to do their skin. Just going to do a workup from Warpstone Glow. Because I like Warpstone Glow. It's a good colour for green. So here's what we're going to use. We have a base coat of Warpstone Glow. We're going to put some Caliban green in the recesses, get some Necrotite green, some Flash Gitz yellow in there for some highlights. This is the way. Still haven't based the cards and bikes my Orks, so if it does work, I'll probably be pulling my own order in. Nice, dude. Very nice. We're going to try and do... so we're really going to push this pumice that Sarah's getting in. Hopefully she gets it in time. So here's the base for it. Instead of putting it on the base, like this, so all wheels are there, I'm going to try and tilt it on the base a little bit. And then get some skid marks. Hey, skid marks. Darkphibia, cheers for the follow. And get 2 skid marks in the back, so it looks like it's power sliding around a corner. That's what we're going to try and do. So, there's your helm, so this is not the way. Apparently it's not the way. It's just a different way. Tokyo Drifting Orks, exactly. And Desert Tile base made out of a purple tusk, but unsure how to do a sandstone base. That's weird. Is there a character limit for Twitch chat? Yes, 500 characters. Because I tried putting a link to something in a Twitch chat the other day, and totally couldn't do it. There were no skid marks at the 2019 LGT, I'll have you know. Not on mine, you know. Wraith! What up, bro? Right, your Blood Angels, my friend, are nearly done. I have literally 3 things left to do to them, which is highlight the silver, highlight the gold, and do the base. That's it. That's it. They're nearly done. Oh, shit. And I've got to highlight the Captain's Power Sword. I forgot that. So, here's some sneaky peeks at the Blood Angels. It's a pretty baller-looking Blade Guard Vet Lieutenant. Got that Volkite on deck. Liking him. Posting extreme anniversary lists. What have you posted, Des? Were we talking about something that I've missed the plot on? Here's one of the incursors. Seth Sargent doing what he do. Stabilo Law. Oh, okay. Well, you can do whatever you like with that. Tyranids might not get voted in, man. You need to just hope and pray and do some campaigning. That's what you need to do. And here's a quick sneak peek of the next Patreon video. I wonder if the camera can just pick that up on the inside there. There you go. That's a very sneaky peeky. That's this week's Patreon video. So the only thing I dislike about this colour is it doesn't have a lot of coverage, which is not ideal. So we're looking at like 3 coats of this green to get on over the skin, but once it's down, it's a really nice bright green to start working from. Obviously, we get some shadows in using that Caliban green, like I said. But this is a good mid-tone. Skeptic! What up, bro? Again, though, if anyone's got something they like as a guide on Patreon or YouTube, you know, depending on which week it is that we get the chance to do it. Shout them out. If there's something you're like, mate, I really want to know how to do so-and-so. Can you show me the way? Then get your suggestions in on Discord, in the chat here, you know, whatever. If I can find a way to do it, I'll do it. We've done how to paint white, how to paint yellow, how to paint red, how to paint black. A couple of different ways of painting red now, in fact. And the Blood Angel's up there as well. Slavax, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, always happy to listen to what you guys want and try and accommodate. Right, let's actually talk about the new Drukhari rules that we have started talking about for a while. Wraith, not for a while, like midsummer, I think. They did the like test preview 5 issues that they do, just to make sure it's viable, and they sold out. Like, they haven't even been released yet. Their pre-orders have sold out. So it's a go, basically. You know. Next White Dwarf is Friday. Yes, and it also has a lot of codes for video games for Warhammer. So if you would like some Warhammer's video games, then buy White Dwarf and you get like 12 of them free or something. Just as a quick like note to anyone that's hoping to be able to like sell on the games: A, don't be scummy, and B, you use one code that redeems for all of the games, and if you've got them in your library already, you don't get another copy you can gift to somebody. You just get like this one thing. Skeptic, buy a Silverjet is literally what that video would be. I can talk about it now. Like, as far as decibel levels go, basically, that's a personal choice that you're going to have to make yourself. Like 40 decibels, I think, is what mine is. No, 40 is like louder than regular conversation. Conversation like 20 decibels or something. Depends on how pissed off the missus is, I guess. Iowata Silverjet Skeptic. That's the compressor I use, and I genuinely think is one of the best compressors that you'll get. It doesn't have a tank, so it's on constantly, which means if you have a consideration that there is like other family in the house that you'll need to like avoid annoying, if there's like young children that are trying to sleep while you're going to be working, all that sort of thing, obviously bear that in mind. Maybe you live somewhere with really thin walls, maybe it's a house share, you know, whatever else, right? So Tommel 180, how you doing? Welcome. So Skeptic, the one for you then would be something with a tank. And there are loads out there with a tank. My old compressor is like a cheap Chinese one, and it worked fine until it got a small leak. I feel it was on its way out, and certainly the amount of time that I spend using an airbrush a week, it was only a matter of time before that thing died on me. So I replaced it. But my housemate's been using it for the last 2.5 years, so, you know. Right, Drukhari time. Definitely Drukhari time. Let me grab the article, just so I don't miss any of their, was it like 7 things that they previewed? Yeah, 7 rules you'll want to see. So the first one is stuff about the Archon, which I think is cool. So Archons get fight twice innately, which is nice. And the reason I think that's nice is because normally they don't do a lot of damage. Basically, if you're an Archon and you're in combat, shit's gone sideways, and you're probably going to wind up dead sooner rather than later, because you get one bad roll on your shadow field, and you're probably going to die. Yeah, it is. It's an upgrade to Chapter Master. That's right. It's like a similar way to how you can get the Cryptic Arcana, your Matter of Sanctity, all that kind of stuff. But if I'm honest, this is going to be one of those things that's probably 25 points, and you're likely to take it every game. I can't think of many reasons why you wouldn't, because, as I was about to say, if your Archon's in combat, he's probably dead soon. And things have gone not ideally. Either you've missed a play, or something's gone a bit wrong on dice, and you've ended up in a position where he's able to be charged, and that's probably the end of your Archon, because they're not very tough despite having that 2-up invulnerable save. Or at least currently they have that 2-up invulnerable save. Don't know if that's still going to be a thing. So I think you'll take this one a lot, because it's not a get-out-of-jail-free card by any stretch of the imagination. But it might just mean that he kills the thing he's in combat with, rather than just about lives through combat and the other guy's left alive on a couple of wounds. So I think that's a solid one. I'm really kind of happy with it. Just a fight twice mechanism. At this point, it'll be one of the only fight twices in the game that will allow you to actually fight twice that isn't an infantry unit. So things like your assault intercessors can fight twice, but nothing else can. Not really. Not anymore. They took a lot of that away, which I'm very happy about. I thought when I use it in the garage, it's used, got a tank with fill that and use it. So Des uses like a full compressor used for tools. Not an airbrush, but like big tools. So it's something that he might have a little bit more information about. So I like that. Lords having an ability to be able to fight twice is cool. It's a relic for the Soul Helm, -1 to hit, and a 5-up feel no pain. I mean, I don't think I'm ever going to bother with that. If I was a Drukhari player, I don't think I'd ever take that. Because again, if you're in a position where your Archon's in combat, he's probably a bit fucked regardless. And I can't see that being the thing that saves him. But, it's cool. And then Wall of Trait, Consummate Weapon Master. +1 damage characteristic of all melee weapons he's equipped with, excluding relics. That's nice. Do I want a combat Archon? No. Basically, I started off that entire explanation about Archons with, if they're in combat, they're probably getting fucked over really soon. So unless the rules regarding them change, I won't say dramatically, but like a fair amount, then I imagine that you won't see either that relic or that warlord trait on the tabletop. Not much anyway. Like fluffy games, friendly games, sure. Crusade, yeah, almost definitely. Because he's going to be the villain of 1,000 stories at that point. But I'm not, as a competitive player, from a competitive standpoint, I'm not gushing over either of those two things. And that's fine. Okay? Any codex that comes out and you're immediately like, this is the way, this is the thing, I have to have this, nothing else, that's bad for the game. Sakinicus. Second, yeah, I think that's right. Peace. Thanks for dropping by. What I do like, and I can't wait to see some salt about this, is Cavalite Trueborn are coming back. So Trueborn, and what they were usually referred to by, which was Blasterborn, was a thing in 5th and 6th edition, and it got removed in 8th edition, I think. I think it lasted through 7th as well. And the reason they were called Blasterborn was because you could give the majority of the unit a blaster. Blaster is a really good, like, melter gun-like ranged weapon the Ardor I've got. Yeah, it dropped in 8th, that's what I thought. And it's pretty powerful. Strength 8, -4, d6 damage. These days, back in the day, it was just like AP 1 and horrible. I used to get Venoms driving around with Blasterborn with a leader man in there, and they just... Venoms are super mobile, and they would hide behind a bit of scenery, and next thing you know, they're all around you, literally surrounding your thing, and BAM! There go the blasters, and your unit that's trying to kill theirs, it has no fucking chance against that. So I'm really glad that Blasterborn aren't coming back. I like the fact that they've referenced that Trueborn were a thing, and we're going to allow you to bring back Trueborn in a cool way and give them an extra point of ballistic skill. That's cool. But I really hope there's a lot of old school Drukhari players out there that abused the fuck out of Blasterborn and only won games because of their Blasterborn, that are now crying over the fact that Games Workshop are, and I bet these are the words they'll use, taunting them with having Trueborn back, but not being the proper Trueborn that they used to have that were oh so overpowered. If you were a tournament player back then, apparently, you'd very frequently see nothing but Blasterborn towards the top tables. If it wasn't your Double Gladiator Strike Force and whatever the Dark Angels version was, and so on, you know, Bark Star, that was it. It was Blasterborn. Not a fun thing, you know. So I like it. I think that's cool. I imagine it's going to be something you still pay points for. When I read this earlier on, it didn't like flat out say. But I don't think anything should just have free rules. Because the other rule they've got is you ignore any and all ballistic skill or hit roll modifiers. So they get 2 rules for the price of 1. And they get extra leadership, which no one gives a fuck about. Like, at all. That's still not a mechanic. Not really. Not unless you're taking very large units of stuff. So I like it. I think it's cool. I think it's nice. I think it's not overpowered. Do I want a unit that just hits on 2s? Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Because you still get 1 special heavy weapon in it, right? Raiding forces. This gets a little confusing, so stay with me. So, you can have your normal, like, split up Drukhari force, so you have the multi-faction stylings of your cults, your covens, and your cabals. Okay? So you get all of those things. Now, what they've done here is they've said that if you've got a detachment that is just Cabal, then they get this obsession, same with Witch Cult, same with Coven. If every detachment in your army is a patrol, all of them cost no CP. That's super good. That's really, really good. That gives you all that flexibility of having every part of your codex used, as long as they're all patrols. A patrol isn't such a bad thing, because you can have 2 HQ, you can have still several troops. And by the time you've got a couple of patrols in your army, you're not going to be filling them to the brim, because you're going to run out of points. So that's alright, I'm okay with that. Here's where it can get a little bit weird. They have a different kind of detachment. It's called a Real Space Raid. And it's full of Real Space Raiders. And so Paulie, my buddy that runs the Real Space Raiders podcast, is pretty happy about this. He has a detachment named after his podcast, which is, I suppose, technically a podcast named after a bit of Games Workshop fluff. But let's just give him this one, alright? Give him the win. A Real Space Raid detachment has to have an Archon, and that Archon has to be a Warlord. It then has to have a Homunculus, and it has to have a Succubus. It's got to have 3 HQs, which means it has to be at least a battalion. So if you have this, the previous rule about your patrols becoming completely free won't apply, because every detachment has to be a patrol for that to apply, and this, we know, can't be a patrol with 3 HQ. That is unless, and I can't see this being the case, that is unless you get HQ slots for free. Like maybe if you have so-and-so, you can take this HQ slot for free. I really, really doubt we see that. But I'm not going to rule it out. Anything's possible. As soon as GW were like, we're making an official size for the table being this now, from my perspective, there was nothing that wasn't on the cards. Nothing is sacred, everything can change. Apart from probably dice, they probably won't stop using D6. D6 are probably always going to be the thing. So with this one, like I said, you can't use this and the patrols. Here's Des campaigning for High Fleets to Below. Oh dear. Highlight depends, yeah. Oh my god. Very good, Des. Very, very good. Everyone should just take a second to actually just read that. I think you should have that narrated by Morgan Freeman. And that's the only thing that could match the awesomeness that is High Fleets to Below. Otherwise known as a grown-ass man who couldn't make up his mind and pick a colour for how to paint a Tyranid. I don't mean me. At that. So, Real Space Raiders detachment. If you are led by an Archon, you have a Succubus and a Homunculus, and then a unit of Cabalites, a unit of Witches, and a unit of Racks, everyone gets an obsession. Which means, I'd imagine, that you will have an attachment that is full of different sub-factions from your codex, but they will all get their obsession. So you might have some stuff in there that's from the Prophets of Flesh, still being Prophets of Flesh, and so on. Which I think that's really good. Like, I think that's a very nice way of doing it, because it means that in smaller points games, so not necessarily your 2,000 point Strike Force games, in smaller points games, you will have the ability to put in enough detachments to get all the units that you want. Your tax, and this, by the way, this is how I can see the like units of renown. Sorry, not the regiments of renown or whatever it was, the armies of renown, the new ways to play that's coming in the Book of Rust. I see this being that kind of thing, and if this is the case, brilliant, because this is here's your tax, which is that you need to have a Cabal unit of warriors, you need to have your witches, you need to have your racks, you need to have a succubus, a homunculus, and an archon, and he has to be your warlord specifically. If you do all of that, the archon's ability to reroll ones for Cabal is reroll ones across the board for the rest of your stuff. That's great. That's totally not overpowered. That's really good. And if they do stuff like this, I'm all in favour of it. I really, really am. Because I didn't mind the formations from back in the day. I thought the majority of them were fine. You just had some outliers that were effectively space aids. That really, really spoiled the game for a lot of people. So I'm in favour of this kind of thing. This is good. This is alright. Des, you get the bot lady to read all that out. I think she's got a character limit as well. But yeah, that, super good. Super good. Then we get to the one that everyone so far has been either like massively, this is bullshit. And I've only seen one person say that, and frankly, they've got their head up their ass. Or very underwhelmed by when they should be just a little bit more whelmed by it. Which is the Serpent's Kiss, the Cabal of the Poisoned Tongue. So this is really, really good. This is a Cabal that gets +1 to wound on all of their poison weapons. So every single poison weapon in the army, and there are some that are close combat, there are some that are ranged, gets +1 to wound. Now I want you to think about that for a second. Most of your poison is going to wound on a 4 normally. Which means that it's going to have a 3-up. 3s to wound from shooting is really, really good. If it stays the same, which is basically anything that isn't a vehicle gets poisoned on a roll of X. Now, I'm not suggesting that they're going to change it, but again, we did say earlier on, I'm kind of the mindset that nothing is sacred and everything is up for change in 40k. There's nothing that's going to say infantry, bikes, beasts, cavalry. Maybe I'll just say, unless your target is a monster vehicle, Titanic unit, whatever, then if they do that, it's good, but it's not overpowered. I've already seen about 4 threads of like Mortarion nerfed to oblivion by Drukhari Codex poisoning him to death. That's a possibility. You know, the easiest way to deal with Morty is either mortal wounds, if you can get him. We say ignore his damage reduction, or poison. But poison's always been the way to just murder a big thing, right? That isn't Titanic. It's just been an easy thing. Now, most poison has no AP, or very, very little AP. And so it's not super powerful, but it is really good. It is really, really good. MC! Cheers, brother. Do you want a new craft world with no more fine cast? Good luck with that one, bro. There's a wish list and there's that. So, Flabe, cheers for the follow. MC, how you doing, bro? I've also given up hope. Yeah. I mean, remain optimistic because you'll get some more at some point. But they need to give a complete overhaul to the range. And doing that in one hit is something that doesn't often happen in 40k. Necron's got it recently, but they kind of needed it. Sisters got it, but there's literally no one that couldn't say that they didn't need it. Marines got, as always, quite a large update to their range, but the old range still exists. So that's kind of an odd case for that. But you see that more with Sigmar, where they just go, right, cool, we're releasing a brand new army, and here you go. So, a few boxes of Dark Reapers and had to send 2 boxes back to replace. This was so bad. I'm not surprised. They are absolutely naff. I hate Finecast with a passion. I don't take Finecast commissions. Well, I will, but I will tell a client, look, I'm charging you a phenomenal amount of money for this because it's Finecast, and I hate it. It's not good. And frankly, it causes me, extra stress to paint this, so that's what you're paying for. M. Sherman, how you doing? And Timmy, absolutely not. No one knows. There's one guy that's adamant that the next book is AdMech. Alright. It might be. But who knows? Some dude at Games Workshop that's not telling us. He knows. That's about it. But, oh, bollocks. Oh, this green has taken a lot longer to paint. Just a goddamn base coat on than I thought it was going to. It's okay. We'll get into the highlights very soon. So yeah, I really like this obsession. And it's got two benefits to it. The first one is your poison weapons +1 to wound. Before we actually carry on, if anyone thinks that +1 to wound isn't a big deal, and I appreciate this isn't quite at the same scale, because it's specifically just poisoned weapons, not any weapon, but with a certain configuration of when you can use it. How many people have had their absolute shit pushed in by Blood Angels? The majority of the reason behind that is simply because they get +1 to wound in melee. +1 to wound is an extremely strong thing. So yeah, I really like it. I think it's a lot less powerful than the Blood Angels version because they get it on any weapon, and so that +1 to wound, when it becomes things like Thunder Hammers and Power Fists and fucking Lightning Claws and so on, getting through is very powerful. And they've clearly got a better version than your probably very, very low to no AP poison weapons going through. It's a different level. That's what I'm saying. So I like it, but there's a second part to it. The second part is that if you are in an enemy unit and you've lost one or more models destroyed by an attack made by a poisoned weapon with a cultist of the Serpent's Kiss, then you are at -1 to your combat attrition. I like this. I think this is cool. There's a lot of things that won't care. There's a lot of things that won't care. Things like Space Marines just won't give a fuck. And you can get Necrons to ignore modifiers, so that's less good. But -1 to your combat attrition means that if you've got a unit that's at half strength or below, and they take it, after taking casualties from this unit, they're at half strength or below, and they fail a leadership test, you've got to roll a 4+ for everybody left alive in that unit, or they are gone. And in certain matchups, that's going to be really good. Obviously, like I said, you ignore the entirety of Marines. And They Show No Fear makes them completely immune to any modifiers to that roll. That's not bad. Peckish! I acknowledged your comment, but I forgot to say hello, so hello. So, there's that. That's really good. And that's one of the Cabal cults that are out there. So that's not bad. Wonder if they're going to drop one? Will they drop them all? Will they redesign any of them? Sort of Space Marine Codex, where they redesigned quite a lot. You know, Salamanders got a bit of a nerfing. Imperial Fists got properly boo-fooed. Glass Joe! Good evening, dude. So they have a stratagem, Insidious Misdirection. And this is probably the better reason to take that Cabal, if I'm honest, because this I consider to be very, very powerful. Timmy, I have never lost to Imperial Fists as knights. Even when they had their Siegebreaker cohort stratagem for, on average, 40 mortal wounds. 40 mortal wounds. The fuck? But because of that, I've always had just a little bit of enmity to people playing Imperial Fists. Oh, disgusting. Disgusting. Got your Gorzag and Nigget? Nice, dude. Very nice. Have fun painting them. They're very cool minis. They'll go well in your Ork army as well. So yeah, this I think is probably the best reason to take the Poison Tongue. You have a stratagem for 2 command points, Insidious Misdirection. Use this stratagem at the start of the first battle round. So that's after you've rolled for first turn. Oh, is it? It normally says after the... God, I'd have to look in chapter approved now. It might be before you roll for first turn. It might not be till after you've rolled for first turn. I got a feeling it's after you've rolled. And this is super good. All right, any redeploy strat is always at least decent, but this is really, really good. Because for 2 command points, you can select up to 3 of your Cabal Poison Tongue units and redeploy them. If they've got Strategic Reserves rules in play, which is basically all of matched play, then you can put them into Strategic Reserves, regardless of how many units you've already got in Strategic Reserves, and without paying any additional CP to put them in Strategic Reserves. Which means that, let's say you've decided that you're still playing with 3 Dizzy Ravagers or Dark Lance Ravagers now, which is probably the more common way you're going to see them. Dark Lances being not great last edition, and therefore buffed this edition. Frozen! How you doing, bro? We're getting all the raids tonight. You guys are spoiling me. How's things, my friend? Good to see you. Duck, what up? How's your evening, Chris? What are you painting? We're going through the Drukhari rules leaks on the Warhammer community site. And we've currently got down to the 4th one. And I'm talking about just how good this really is good. That 2 command point Insidious Misdirection strat is. So, 24-hour stream on Saturday. Nice. Nice. I will definitely raid into you after my own stream. But I will unfortunately not see much, if any, of that stream. Really hoping I'll get an update soon. I was lucky in one of Roller's Wraith Lords. I used to start them. Wraith Lords are great. I love them. Love the way they look. One of my favourite looking units. But Eldar are still okay. Like, trust me, Eldar are still good in 9th. Expert Crafters is literally one of the best chapter tactics style things in the game right now. And it's... So you can build an army around really, really, really well. But the reason this is so good is any redeploy strat is always a winner. Okay, you can force your opponent into deploying where you know you're not going to be next turn to ensure that they are wasting a turn of their own army, getting into position. They're not going to get lines of sight to you. It means that you can just put, in this case, put 3 units that would cost more than 2 command points to put into strategic reserves into strategic reserves. So let's say you're already thinking, you know what, I'm going to put my 3 Ravagers into reserves because I don't fancy them getting shot at first turn. And I want to deal with this particular threat before I bring them in. Or I want to guarantee that I get to use them. Well, if they're 140 points each, then 3 of those is 420 points. That'll be 4 CP to put 3 of those into strategic reserves. You can half your CP cost doing it this way. Oh no, it's still on power level, isn't it? So it could very well be probably 3 CP. But, you know, you're going to get a discount on putting something in reserves, which is great. So that's a super, super good strat. Really, really big fan of that. Power from Pain. Right, Power from Pain has changed. And I've already seen people whinging about it. Get over yourself. In what world are you not happy with this table? I don't get it. You got some Drukhari players in chat, right? I'd love to hear your thoughts. But losing a 6-up Feel No Pain for a 6-up Invulnerable save, on paper, sounds like a nerf. Okay? It's like, you've lost this thing, you've gained this really common thing. Nah. It's great. Sure, you've lost a saving throw versus mortal wounds. Alright, I can understand why you're a little bit miffed. You know, if you spend a lot of time playing it into Thousand Suns, Grey Knights, Catan Spam, fuck, I don't know. Whatever else that does a lot of mortal wounds. If you spend a lot of time in your local group playing to those, yeah, it's worse for you. Alright? It is. Exactly, Chris, and that's where I'm going. Almost all armies now have a mass of damage 2 weaponry. And there's even more of it out there now than there used to be before. And most damage 2 weaponry is really, really, really good at killing things like Cavalite Warriors. Because they're going to be winning you on 3s or 2s almost all the time. going to be denying you a save almost all the time. And if you have a Feel No Pain, you've got to roll double 6, which is a 1 in 36 chance, or about 2.7% to save each of your dudes. Whereas now, if a damage 2, damage 3, damage 10, so you get harpooned in the face, if any of those weapons hit you, you have a 16.6% chance of living. The thing is, Gumbalina, it's not really worse against low AP because they tended to have a 5-up save anyway, right? And there were some units that, like your witches, for instance, that didn't really get much out of that anyway. Skeptic, peace out, bro. So that I think is already a very good change. Like a really, really good change. I just realized it is knuckles. I should have just done the whole bloody metatarsal. Phalange, rather. And that's just turn 1. That's just turn 1. Turn 2. As the chat said, eager to flay. You can advance and charge everything in your army. Everything in your army gets advance and charge. Fuck me, that's alright. Advance and charge is normally... I think it's normally a 2 command point strat. Like, I know the Knight one is full tilt, but I appreciate we're a bit of a beast in combat at times. If anyone else knows any more advance and charge stratagems and how much they cost, let us know. Because I believe it's normally a relatively expensive strat. Not something you just do on a whim. Yeah, Talos, great. Although Talos, because they were good in the last book, might be a bit less good in this book. We don't know. This is not necessarily the way that Games Workshop do things, but it's a noticeable pattern of if something was great in the previous book, it's usually not quite as good in the next book, or something else is just better because it's had a buff. But yeah, that is brilliant. The next one, Flensing Fury. When you make a melee attack, +1 to hit. So, +1 to hit in melee. Your entire army, on top of the other stuff you've got, has just become Space Wolves. So, anyone out there that's a Space Wolves player, your chapter tactic has just become like a subsection of another army's chapter tactic. How you feeling? How'd you like that? Are you going to bitch and moan about it? Because it's nothing you can do, unfortunately. So yeah, that's good. But that's not all. That's one part of what happens in turn 3. One part. Not only do you get an entire army's chapter tactic, you also, if you're a vehicle or monster, get to fire your heavy weapons at enemy units with engagement range of it without suffering a -1 penalty. So after your Talos have charged in on turn 2, being monsters, and then being able to advance and charge, and they've gone in and they've taken their macro scalpels and they've pulled your legs off. If there's anyone left that they happen to be in combat with on turn 3, or they've been countercharged, which is sometimes the only option, but it's never like a nice option, then they just rinse you with what would probably be haywire. Which is gross. Just gross. Number 4. Your 6-up Feel No Pain because of 6 up invulnerable save, working on old book obviously, because of 5 up invulnerable save. So your entire army gets a 5 up by turn 4. Now by turn 4, in the Dark Adder army, Thickos, that's really good, man. That's really good. I'm so glad about that. Don't need that in the whip. You'll be banned for life if I see that in the whip. So yeah, 5 up Feel No Pain. Sorry, 5 up. Fuck's sake. 5 up invulnerable save on your entire army is pretty okay. Unless, obviously, you've got a very cult-based army. If you have, you're kind of already getting that. And so you're not getting a lot out of this table. You're getting that advance and charge. You get a +1 hit in combat from turn 3. But turn 1 and turn 4, so far, aren't doing much for you. But... God damn, it's Chris. That is a brilliant, brilliant name. Especially because Frozin, I think, is still in the chat. That's awesome. Dude, thank you for the raid. What a name. What a name. We've already got 2 shout-outs for you in the chat. Because my mods are amazing. Everyone, give this person a follow. I'm about to. There you go. Have a follow. Chris, how's your stream, dude? What are you up to? What are you working on? We're talking about the Codex Drukari previews that the Warhammer Community channel, Warhammer Community page posted earlier on. And our take on them as a fairly competitive player. We're down to the Power from Pain table, which is number 5. It was great. Been struggling my way through Dark Souls 3. I've never played any of those games, but my my housemate says it's frustration like incarnate. He does like it, but this is a guy that plays things like Darkest Dungeon and Stellaris, and he finds that is one of the most frustrating games that he's played. So it's got to be something I will never touch in my entire life quite happily, I think, at that point. So yeah, 5 up invulnerable save. I'll stop calling it Feel No Pain in a minute. 5 invulnerable save on everything. What if your covens don't get invulnerable saves anymore? Like I said earlier on, nothing's sacred. You know, everything's up there for change. What if your covens, that you're thinking like, oh, my racks have got 6 up invulnerable, so this chart means fuck all to me. And my Talos have got a 5 up invulnerable, so you know that means nothing to me. What if covens don't get an invulnerable save anymore? Exactly, Gumbleaner. That's kind of where I'm leaning for it. I reckon covens might get you Feel No Pain. Because it makes sense that covens have a Feel No Pain. They've been like torn apart and stitched together in the most awful version of Frankenstein's monster ever. So why not, right? It does mean, if that's the case, I can't see him getting more than a 6 up Feel No Pain, maybe a 5 up. And 5 up's pushing it, right? 5 up is pushing it for that. Because right now, there's not a lot out there that gets a 5 up Feel No Pain. A lot of things now sort of capped at 6+. Marine Apothecaries, Death Guard with their Plague Surgeon. Like Morty gets it. Not a lot else that's a new book is getting that. So I reckon you're looking at a 6 up Feel No Pain on your Coven stuff. And then invuln saves being granted by your Power from Pain table. And that's That's pretty good. So I can see Coven still being strong. Ex-Adventurer, what up, dude? And if you guys think that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game on Nintendo was hard, I had that game on Amstrad, which is a tape deck computer, where if you failed, you had to wait 20 minutes to try again, when the game reloaded. So far, apart from pay table, good. By turn 4, though, it's been my experience playing against Drukari that there's normally not a lot left on the table. And I've played some pretty good Drukari players. Mark Cromblehome, easily one of the best Eldar players in the UK. And I'd actually go on record as saying one of the top 10 in the world for Eldar. Vic VJ, before he played Space Marines, was a prolific Dark Eldar player. Played him with his Dark Eldar versus my Knights, beat him. That was a fucking tough game. But by turn 4, you tend not to have a lot left. So the few things you have got left suddenly being a little harder, a little bit tougher to kill. I really like this. I really like it. It's a nice timing for everything we've got. Turn 1, you get your invuln. Turn 2, you get to advance and charge. Because you probably will be in range of it in turn 2. Probably won't be in turn 1. And in turn 3, you should just be in like charge range. You shouldn't need to do this. So I'm liking the timings of all of these things coming through. So we get to the 5th one, Emboldened by Bloodshed. You're fearless, and if you've got a characteristic set that changes depending on how much damage you've got, you double your wounds. Personally, I think that's the worst one out of the bunch. But it's still good. It's still good. The Dyson! 7 months, dude. Thank you very much, mate. Thickos says, you got any Night Castellans? Just grabbed one. Need some inspiration. Let me inspire you, my friend. So this guy somehow came second in a painting contest in their open competition. I say somehow because he's not that good. And he's extremely dusty. And he's definitely not going to fit on camera. But there's your inspiration, bro. Hazard stripes, marble floors, buildings, glowy shit. That's huge. He's a big lad. He's a very big lad. At the time I painted him, he was my best looking knight, and now he's not. My Halverins look better than this guy. I do like his big old Cole's Wrath Style plasma gun though. But just to get this guy in the case, the scenery is magnetized. Because that was the only way I could fit him in a case. And yes, there are some bits without magnets because they will have freehand on. But pretty much everything. Magnets or like these cannons, they just slot in. But there you go, bro. There's a Night Castellan for you. Warlord? No, I haven't got time for that shit. I did get asked to paint one, and I quoted them for it, and they're like, I'd be down for that, it'll be a while. I'm like, I should have quoted higher. It had 3 zeros in it, and it wasn't a 1 at the front, that's for sure. Yeah, Warlord, sure, would be fun, but I can't see it. What we'll do is we're going to overrun the stream ever so slightly tonight, because I want to keep talking about the Drukhari stuff. We'd normally be doing the whip about now, so as soon as we get through these last two, we'll go into the whip, and we'll finish the Orks off on Thursday. I might do a little bit of work off stream just to finish off the skin, just so we can get this part done, and then the base is the last thing when Sarah releases her new pigments and sends me some stuff. Want that pumice too. But let's go on to the next one. Combat drugs. Combat drugs. Combat drugs were always something that felt like just some like random admin for the most part. Like, I've got to do this, they've got to have this. In previous editions, now that's all about to change. So the reason behind that is because combat drugs in the previous incarnations of the book were a series of buffs that would buff weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength, toughness, attacks, I think maybe leadership. And you would choose a drug to give to a witch unit. But you couldn't duplicate the drugs. So if you gave somebody +1 attack, you couldn't give that to another unit. Well, now you can. The Dyson! Take care, bro. So now you can just give more +1 attack if you want. More +1 toughness, and so on. And that's nice. I like that. Alternatively, here's another bit of fun that you can do. And I'm hoping that, you know, they'll be good enough that you could see this more than like just narrative games. You can, instead of choosing one, you can roll 2 dice and you get them both. And that's cool. That's cool. There's a lot of similar effects like that in a game. Catan powers, that happens on. And I know people that will roll for their Catan powers after picking their first one, hoping to duplicate up some of the good, well, some of the better powers. So that's cool. That's the thing. Is that groundbreaking? Is it game breaking? No, not at all. Unless, of course, witches become like super good, and at that point we're sort of looking back at this going, fucking hell, do you remember the days when only one of these units could take +1 attack? I'm really hoping, from everything I've seen so far in this book, it looks balanced well. Really hoping that's not the case. So, you can do that. You can now. Oh wait, do you mean the Catan or do you mean this? Like, which do you... Also, bear in mind that the combat drugs of the previous book aren't necessarily going to be the combat drugs of this book. So, Catan. Yeah, you can roll for Catan powers. You can't duplicate the powers when you like choose them, but you can roll for them and get them randomly. So what my friend Dick does, who's part of the Dutch WTC team, he's got a 3 Catan list that he's running. Good old Catan spam. And the mortal wound output on that list is a bit worrying, because there's nothing your opponent can do about it. There's no like deny a Catan power. It happens. Like, feel the wrath of the Star God and fucking have it. Jesus! Glass Joe! Dude, I'm gonna start feeling guilty about you not being able to eat properly at this rate. Can we please, and I mean please, get some significant level hype in the stream for Glass Joe who's just given 10 gift subs to this community. M. Sherman, Synapse Zone, Tommy 180, Ollie QF, Chimera, Von Kroll, Jenny85, McGill 504, Epitaph User, and Hopping Dead. You guys all just got given subs by the glorious individual that is Glass Joe. If you have not given this guy a follow already, then I urge you to go and do so. Thanks a lot of orcs right now, and obviously you're all here enjoying an orc painting stream as well. So definitely give that guy a follow. No, Craig Jank, no. What a boss. What a boss. Goliath Games TV, how are you doing? How's things with you, bro? So yeah, liking the combat drugs. Not that we know what the combat drugs themselves will actually be, but you could make a relatively safe bet that they're the same as the current incarnation of have some stat upgrades, and away you go. Right. Dono Fly and Euro Banixia, thank you very much for those follows. We're painting the driver at the moment for our ShokkJump Dragsta. And we're just doing a quick sort of skin work up on the guy. We don't want to go mad on these. We want to look good, obviously, but we want the main focus of our Dragsta to be the incredibly bright yellow. And these guys just sort of sit in and be there and be present rather than take over. So we spent the evening so far painting their skin, painting the other details on these guys, and right now talking about the Drukhari Codex reviews from the Warhammer community site. So that brings us to the last one. We've done the combat drugs. Just going to point out I have not done combat drugs. Now we're on to a couple of relics. And these aren't bad at all. So you've got the Jin Blade, which I believe is already in the book. But this has had a little bit of a makeover. And I like it. I think it's pretty solid. I probably wouldn't bother with it, and I'd probably still be looking at relics that help buff my army rather than help buff an Archon in combat. For me, that's not where he's meant to be. But this is cool. +1 strength, -3 AP, power sword, Mastercraft power sword, damage 3. Ooh, we like damage 3. Damage 3 is good. Damage 3 is Fatboy Gravis Man, dead. Damage 3 is Death Guard Man's, dead. So damage 3 is where it's at right now. Everyone loves a bit of damage 3. Abilities. Each time a bearer fights, makes 2 additional attacks with this weapon. At the end of the fight phase, roll 1d6. If he made any attacks with this weapon, on a 1, he suffers a mortal wound. So you've kind of got this weird, gets hot rule on your super spangly power sword. You get extra attacks out of it. You're going to be hitting on 2s, you're going to be rerolling 1s because you're an Archon. Yeah, not bad, right? Fair enough, dude. Fair enough. I think we've all had that where we were you and a mate were going to get into the hobby, and you're like, oh, I'll play this army. Yeah, but I want to play that army. Oh, all right, I'll play this army instead then. Did you regret the Eldar? That's the question. So that's a nice relic. It's okay. I'm not busting a nut over it at all. And then we get to the last relic, and here's where the real solid foundation of my belief that the Coven stuff is going to get a Feel No Pain, probably of a 6-up. Because I think Death Guard would probably have a shit fit if it was a 5-up. You liked it? Good. The Nightmare Doll. Homunculus model only. Every time he goes to lose a wound, roll d6 on a 4-up, it's not lost. So I really think that you're looking at your Coven stuff getting Feel No Pain. Your Cabal and everything else now, obviously, as well, getting the invulns. Yeah, that's my thoughts. Overall, we've got some good, we've got some not so good. Nothing that I've seen here is like, this is just shit. Though I still think that a Archon in combat is just shit. Because if he's in combat, something's gone wrong. For me, at least, that's the way I'd play the army. Tilts, it was like 5. Easy. You'll have to watch the VODs. But it was a lot of colours. Right. This is what we've done so far tonight. I'm going to do a little bit of work off stream on these guys, I think, just to get the crew situated in and on that thing. So we can do the next stream working on things like this, getting some OSL done, and so on, and have a little bit more of a fun, entertaining thing, rather than doing some of the slightly more boring admin-y bits of painting some boys. You know, is what it is. But coming very soon, we're painting this guy, Reikenor the Grimhaler. This went to Sons of Rolo, and he's letting me paint this however I want. So I'm thinking I'm going to pick 2 colours and do some really cool fades and some really cool transitions on this. This is a very, very sick mini. I want to do some like ghostly green style for down here on the base, like a graveyard crypt or something. And I'm thinking that I'm going to do something that I don't normally do and do a pre-shade on this mini, and then paint the entire thing using glazes through the airbrush. Obviously come in with a brush and do highlights and like pin shades and so on, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. So we're going to be doing a lot of airbrush work over glazes. Sorry, we're using glazes over a value layer. That could be fun. Could be a lot of fun. Also, at the end of this month, we've got our usual giveaways where you could win a £50 hobby voucher to a hobby stockist of your choice, and either of these 2 miniatures painted by me in a colour scheme that you choose. If you don't like either of those, one lucky subscriber could instead take home the contents of the mystery box. It's always a tough one. It's always a tough one. There's already something in there. Sounds like multiple parts. I couldn't tell you. Could not tell you. Don't know. Don't know. Well, I know. Don't forget as well, if you have a Patreon subscription, a video viewer or higher tier, you could still get your hands on one of these 2 as a second life. That draw will be on the first stream of the next month, not the last stream of the month. We're doing it slightly differently. So if you sign up to Patreon just for a chance to win the mini, you still get a month's worth of Patreon membership as well, rather than like a few hours, which was... It always felt a bit shit. But it hadn't occurred to me to do it at the start of the month. So there we go. It's whip time. Right, it's whip time. Let's do it. If you want to submit something, !whip. And for some reason I've scrolled right to the end already. This is annoying. Spoilers. Right, here we go. So first up is the Drunk Mystic. First part, work out with my Chimera. Any tips on how to highlight the wings in picture 3? So many details. And Tilts, you're going to have to tune in to find out. Okay, I'm liking it. We've got the red in there. It's the purpley pink. Nice fade. I like the skin tone. Right, how do the wings? This is the real question. So, I know half the chat is thinking, oh, you dry brush those. No. If you have an airbrush, this is much easier than if you don't. Like, much easier. But what you do is you choose whatever colour you want. So flesh tone or similar is usually good. Gumbalina has just done some Clawed Fiends, I think they were, with like a purple pink skin to them, and that was really good. Yeah, there's lots of colours you can do, but the process is the harder part without an airbrush. And you definitely don't do what Tilt just put in the chat. So, what I would suggest is, if you don't have an airbrush, you go in there with a good but light base coat. So a light colour base coat. And then start working down with some shadows, because that's easier than working up with some highlights, right? So thin some washes, like really thin, and do several glazes with washes. Yeah? Work all those recesses, darken all those down. Don't paint over every part of the surface of the wing, and maybe paint just down the sides and make that, you know, most of the way up to begin with, and then just less and less and less to give a nice little gradient going down the sides that way. Then go in with your brush and do some line highlights on every single one of the details on those wings. That's the way to do it, bro. Doing it with a dry brush is quicker. Does it look as good? No. No. God, no. If you use the, like, moistened dry brush method, does it look as good? No. It looks better than a normal dry brush, but you can just look at it and tell flat out. No. So that's unfortunately it, mate. Paint it a light colour, like a light flesh tone, a light jade, light turquoise, light purple. Actually, not purple, you got purple on the thing. Something along those sorts of lines, and then wash and wash and glaze, and away you go. New Digital Blue, have you gotten your hands on the big, dark first Dema prints? If I had, I probably couldn't tell you that I had. So I'll just say that I haven't. Lulu, more progress on the tank. Leaving weapons and lenses / lights till last. Still need to paint. Freehand, transfers, battle damage, base, grav plates, reds, magnetized armaments. Thoughts on color ratio? Okay. Let's get the big pick out then for this. So my first thought, if I'm honest, dude, is that your black and yellow is in the wrong place. The correct way to paint black and yellow is basically one next to the other in a repeating sequence, usually at a slight angle, and then all over. Like that's how to paint black and yellow. It's a weird one on this mini, mate. It really is. And you could tidy up some of your highlights here and there that have gone a little askew. In fact, some of these highlights were done with paint that was too thick. So just bear that in mind. Highlight on the headlight on the inside for both left and right, on the front plate on the right hand side. There's several there that you can pick out, and you just know that the paint that you were using was a little bit A little bit too thick. Adding more yellow to this is going to be a right sod. I think it could do with a bit more. Let's have a look at the other angles, though. That's it, from the absolute front on. It's never really a most flattering way to look at something. Yeah, bro. Some of those second highlights have been a little on the rush side. Maybe not from there. Charles Zamboza, thank you for the follow and welcome to the stream, dude. Yeah, maybe you're okay on the amount of yellow that you've got. Is this like Sides of the Emperor or something? What are the decals that are going down? Because if the decals have got any yellow to them, then you're probably in the right place. And if it's the cross sides, which is what I think it is, then you're okay. If not, then I'd probably add in some. You've got a lot of other elements to do there. I wouldn't add in any more colors. So on your cupola at the top, take the green lenses off of that. So here's a sneak peek for the video that's going up on Patreon this week. Here's a tank. And when you're taking a photo of a tank, by the way, mate, probably that is the angle you want. Yeah, just above and to the just to the corner, so you can see a lot of the front. You can see the side. You get a complete picture, rather than this or this. Yeah, I mean, that tank just looks better like that. Look at the way these lenses are done. All right, and this video is going up on Friday on Patreon, but I've chosen to do all of these as one color. Because what I don't want these lenses to do is turn my tank into a fucking bop it. And if we go back over here, you've got blue at the front of one, you've got green, then you've got red on others. And if you're not careful, it's going to be a little bit too much, slightly confusing. I always feel that working with a more restricted color palette gives you a better end result. You've got black and yellow as your main colors. You've got silver in there as like your utility, like metallic color. And then you've got splashes of red. That's fine. Do all your lenses as red. Like every one of them is red. You got a little blue one on the radar Auspex, whatever the fuck that thing is at the back. That one doesn't look out of place. But the blue one at the front and then some green ones and so on, I'd leave that well alone. You say still the grav plates to do, yeah. But turn your grav plate to silver, then you're probably okay. If done as placeholders, lens in general still need to be done. Yeah, red will work best. Yeah, I think it will. It helps unify everything you've got. So, do that. And when you do your decals, like maybe... I've just opened the picture twice. You've got that big area on the side where I've got the Blood Angels logo on mine. But on yours, because you've got lots of black that's kind of flat, get something going on at the very, very front, just in front of the sponsons as well. So, I can't scroll left or right on this picture, but you know, something at the front there would really help. Otherwise, mate, you know, there's some really solid stuff there. Like I said, some of your highlights, they feel a little bit rushed, so just go back and tidy them up with your base color, and you'll be all right. Glass Joe, yeah, I think we did. Yeah, you did the Land Raider on the base. Big fan. Right, Toony Spruce, scrutinized at your pleasure. Very happy with the work on the Griffin so far. The armor plate will be gold. The claws and beak will be yellow, but any idea how to make the green on the underwings darker? Also, so happy with that purple-green contrast. Do you mean the green at the end of the feathers, or like overall? No worries, Sam. Getting the edge highlights on tanks is just one of those things that takes a while. I don't use the same heavy metal system that you use. My edge highlighting is a lot more sparse. I feel it looks a bit more realistic, but like it still takes me a while to do like the full boxy shit that you do. No thanks. Like where they would be shadow when it's on the model. I can't tell from this picture, but I assume the wings are relatively flat based on the holes on the bird boy. Like, you could just glaze in some darker greens through the airbrush on the underside. That's the best thing to do. Okay, cool. You see what that natural shadow is? Probably about there. So instead of working out like the whole shadow, I would probably still shadow each individual element of it. Right? Let me go back to the first pick. So on here, you've got all these feathers, like gradually sort of stacked one on top of the other to build the pattern for the wing. I would do a shade on all of the longer pinions from where they start on the wing to where they terminate. So that is a gradual shade transition all the way across it. Anywhere that they bend in, and you can see just to the left of this guy's sword, there's that kind of point where the wing has an angle. Get in there with a darker shadow. Where the clear bone structure is for the shape of the wing, just under there, get in there for that shadow. And on a random side point, these are almost identical to Magnus the Red's wings. To the point where I'm wondering just how much of this was a copy-paste job. By GW, I mean. Ways to shade this would be to I don't know what color specifically to use, because you've got bits of blue, you've got bits of green in there on the wing, and so you've made it a bit more difficult to get your shades. To the point where what you probably want to do is, instead of trying to shade down, highlight up less on a lot of this. You still need a wash in there to help get that detail to come all together. But basically, on the underside of the wing, where it would obviously be in shadow, you can see where that wing has that bend. Use less highlights there and more and brighter highlights everywhere else, because you've got something that's already quite bright. And so it being really dark in that spot wouldn't look realistic at all. Hope that helps. Also, yes, I quite like the purple into the green fade. You could probably feather that out a little bit more, no pun intended. Have it be a little bit more gradual and soft, but I do like what you've done with it. Good colour choices. And you could stop it about halfway down the belly there. SJ! Cheers, brother. Much appreciated. Oh, it just fell out of the whiskey jar. But yeah, halfway down the belly would be a good point to have that transition going. Right, Tom. See what we got here. We got some Blood Angels, Blade Garvet Ancient. Okay. You've got for a very, very heavily weathered look on the leather parts of his armor. I can see what you've done with, like, you've done lots of little brush strokes on one side, but I think your paint was a little bit too thick, and it's basically manifested as almost a solid, like, line down there. If you take some of the original colour you painted the cape, and then do exactly the same thing again, but keep them really, really thin, and just do like an odd few, it'll break up some of those lines and it'll make it look a little bit more like weathering and not like maybe he's been doing some painting. He's been a little careless. So both on the robes at the bottom and on that little bit of tabard above his belt as well. That'll be good. I like what you've done. You've got a solid yellow everywhere. And I love painting yellow. I'm not sure whether you've tried for a glowing eyes look or whether it's like just that they're a little bit outside the lines. If you're doing a glowing eyes look, one of the most important things to do is have a nice solid dark line between the lens and the glow part of it. They are tricky. Where's my Black Templar? So this is a Black Templar Space Marine that myself and Ginger Steve are working on. This is what he's doing in his painting lessons. And you can see there that for the glowing eyes that we've got, right here, there's a tiny dark line that separates the lens from the glow. And that is really important. That helps the eyes stay separate from the rest of the face. And then the way to do the glow is to take a very thin colour and do one stripe underneath. And then take your top highlight colour for the eye lens and just do a very, very thin, and it has to be thin, tiny highlight across the top there. If you really, really want to, you can then take one brighter version of that and just do a specular height, a dot underneath where the focal point of your lens is, and that will like properly bring it into focus and really snap it in. But that's how you would do the glowing eyes. If these aren't meant to be glowing eyes, then just take your yellow, go back, and just tidy those bits up. Easy peasy. Solid though, mate. Like the Imperial Fists. Love yellow. It's one of my favourite colours ever. Do check out the video we put up on YouTube on Friday, how to paint yellow. We did both the yellow on the buggy that is on screen now. Did that yellow using an airbrush. And then this yellow completely without an airbrush. This was just by hand. So that's a really, really good build-up for yellow. Using mostly easy enough to get hold of paints as well. So, Danny, take care, bro. For you guys, I tried to use the gemstone paints. If I'm honest, I'm not sold on those. I understand what you've done now, though. I get it, and I know why it's had the effect that it's had. Those paints are very thick, they're very gloopy, and I don't think they're even very good for gemstones, if I'm honest, dude. But, you know, it was a good go. Tidy it up a little bit with the yellow, and you're doing all right. Right, Glass Joe. Was a good tufts for a more muddy brown base doing a rival craft order. I really like a dark marsh for things like that. Really good one. I think I'm probably going to do like a full run and also offers like a Broken Legion squad. But yeah, we've got a few. Steve's is the one that's most ahead because he gets 2 lessons a month because he's the master class. The fine basing material, Glass Joe, is particulate sand, fine beach, 0 to 1 millimeter. But yeah, good stuff. Keep it up. Right, Gummer, here's my terrible experiment. I wanted to paint my mandrakes as if they had colours drained from them to be one with the shadows. Ah, shit. Doesn't look that nice, so I'll redo them in the same manner as my succubus. Yeah, it just looks totally desaturated, mate. It's too light. It's too light. If you wanted the colours to be drained out of them by the shadows, they need to be darker overall, with hints of the purple, the yellow, and so on. But hints of yellow over black is going to give you a shitty green. It's not going to be good at all. Strata, P3's Morrow White is good, but also think about just buying some white acrylic ink. The Pro Acryl Bold Titanium White, also good. Also good, very good. Tilts. Peace, bro. However, mate, you gave it a try. That's good. Yeah. Outside your comfort zone. It's the place to be. Metal Burner. I'm not going to click on the link, I'm afraid, dude. Sorry. Please just put your pictures in, if you can. If you're still here, great. If you're not, and you're watching this back on the VOD, essentially, I'm not going to click on anything that's a link in the whip, because it might not be a picture of Mini, and it's not worth safety to stream. We'll do non-metallic weapons, approximately conceal. Cool. Right, Crazy Anked. He's doing more work on this absolute mad thing. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So we'll get to the OSL at the very end. Yeah, I like all the little details you've got on there. The bottle, like the ink bottle, I think you're just missing some white specular highlights on that to really give it a reflective look to the outside of it, like a fully glossed look. I'm not sure what's going on with that bit on the front face, though. Okay, cool. We'll ignore that one then. Your object source lighting. I like it. Yeah, big fan. Some of it is ever so slightly off, but not by a lot. So, on his nose, he's got that weird hook nose with the bit taken out of it, and on the front part of it, it's super vivid green. But that bit, in this picture at least, looks further away than the top of his head here, which has gone from being super vivid green into that kind of chartreuse green. So that one is too bright a green down there. But, nice shot. Good work. And if you're going to do green glow on a candle, and you're going to give him green eyes, get a little bit of like glowing eye just around here. Yeah, we just talked about how to do that. Definitely a little extra detail you can add in. Keep it subtle, keep it small. Make sure there's separation in there. I guess you've still got the bars on the case to do. You can see there's values sort of sketched out, but otherwise, yeah, pretty solid, bro. Here's the back for the OSL. Get the wax strips on the candle. If you've got, think about this, your light is coming down almost vertically at the front. It's not quite almost vertical at the back. Again, though, you've got a little bit where your distance is probably too far to get to that green. But certainly those wax strips that are protruding from the sides of the candle, they would be hit at the top with that light. But yeah, it looks good. Potion bottle. That's a bit of a fat highlight, but okay. Crash test, Rob. Hello, mate. So this is Sigvald and I have no idea what the fuck that is. Is that two Sigvalds? Converted Sigvald, I guess? Yeah, it must be. Okay. I'm gonna be super critical and a bit of a dick. And I'm not really sorry about this, but I do feel a bit bad. Contrast paint is not for painting large areas. It's not. Please don't use it like that, because that cloak is so messy. If you want to paint with contrast, specifically, I wouldn't know why you would choose to do that. Thin it. Flow improver works. It's okay. It helps. It's certainly a lot cheaper than buying contrast medium. And do several coats. Yeah? Like, aim to do 5 coats on something that's like a big flat area like this. Because this looks like someone's attempted some tie-dye and it's gone wrong. How the fuck tie-dye goes wrong, I have no idea, but that's kind of my take on that, I'm afraid, dude. What you've done with the armor and stuff looks cool. I like the color schemes for it. I like the darker purple, sort of metallic that you've got for it. I think that's cool. But that cape is one of the biggest, brightest details on the model, and it just takes over. This guy is clearly then a Fiend of Slaanesh with, I think that might be a Fiend's tail or 2, some claws, and I'm guessing is a Slaaneshi Demon Prince. And a similar thing with this cape as to the last one. But this, it looks like you might at one point have had a solid red underneath it. And then whatever the fuck this is has happened. And it looks like perhaps there's been some attempt at a couple of black glazes. But you've got 2 watermarks up there on the top left of the cape. And what that normally means is one of 2 things. Either you've literally put your fingers in the mini while the paint is wet, and you're lucky there's no fingerprints there. Or you've painted a wash on, and it's pooled in those areas, and you've noticed a little bit too late, and you've gone back with your brush to try and get rid of that paint, and you've pulled a lot off the surface, but there's still a watermark that's dried around the outside of it. Again, when you're painting an area that is big like this, especially if it's flat, and I know this is like that, but it's not like it's square edges and stuff, so treat it as a flat surface. Take your paint, thin it very well. Aim for 5 coats of paint is full opacity. I know Duncan and his like 2 thin coats and all that, but sometimes 2 thin coats is not enough thin coats. Sometimes 2 thin coats is still not enough. It's still going to give you brush strokes and marks and everything else. So aim for 5, especially on centerpiece minis like this, right? Timmy, for those wings, brush it on. If you airbrush it, it will cover everything with the same like amount of paint, or wash in this case. And what you really want is for that wash to be manipulated and moved into the recesses. So use a brush, thin it, get it on. You got some close-ups. So the head doesn't look bad. The horns are lacking a little bit of detail, but the head doesn't look bad. You've got a very dappled surface there. Sort of thing that contrast paint can be used for. But that cloak isn't my favourite thing I've ever seen in the whip, put it that way. Anyway, we've spoken about that. Let's move on. Good effort on the rest of the mini. Right, Thickos. Not exactly whip, but I did treat myself to a new workstation yesterday. That's nice. I mean, I can't fit all my paint into a thing like that, so I'm slightly envious of how organised and neat that is. Yeah, quality, right? Also, I airbrush a lot, so that MDF would quickly look super bad. But nice, I like it. Right, Lethal Styles, another one down and one more started. Any tips on putting decals on as far as your video, but the bloody thing curls up and take it off the paper? Yeah, were you watching the stream on Saturday, Lee? If you haven't, go and watch the VOD. I think it was the first decal that I picked up out of the water pot. Basically, I had to just sort of put the brush on my finger and smooth it out that way. It shouldn't be too much of a problem. Like, we did the entirety of this Blood Angels army, so that's 2 per minion minimum. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 3, 4, 5, 28, so 56 plus another couple. So call it about 60 decals we did at the weekend. I think we only had the problem twice. Only one of them broke at any point. So hopefully not much of an issue. Get those micro sol and micro set products though, and that really helps out. Really nice marine though, dude. I'm liking it. Good work all round. Loving the base as well. Complements it nicely. It stays within the same sort of color palette. Those like nice oranges. Yes, top notch. So for everyone that's watching, Lee has followed the How to Paint Blood Angels guide we did on YouTube. This is another one of his Blood Angels using that guide, and he's absolutely smashing it. Here's the next guy. Power armor down. Why one at a time? That's my question. Why one at a time? Because if I did models one at a time, I'd never finish a commission. So for me, it's here's a big tray, for instance, of Blood Angels, and they all get worked on at the same time. So like tomorrow, for instance, my first job is highlight all the silver, which means I will batch paint 28 minis worth of silver highlights. And that is soul destroying, the metallic part of it, but the rest of it's not normally so bad. Rezo! Right, I love these. Your bases, your little woodland and forest and so on diorama bases are great. Absolutely great. Really like it. This looks like something out of Shannara Chronicles. You know, that kind of technology existed several hundred years ago. Bad shit happened. The Earth came back and reclaimed itself, overgrew everything. I love it. Big fan. Right, MC. Oh, he's done. Yes, boy. Mate, that's solid. Like, I'm still, because it's me and it's not my style, I'm still not totally sold on the bright yellow. But it does look good altogether. That is just a really good mini. A lot of conversion work from you. So, I'm liking that. I really like the extremely straightforward, we'll say, non-metallic metal that you've done. There's not too much of an emphasis on creating contrast and creating this like super realistic light and shadow. It's stylized exactly like the rest of your mini. Yeah, I like it. It's Fire Dragon bright on the edges. Cool. So that's a very bright orange then, rather than the yellow. But there is one thing that I think you've kind of chickened out on. Everything else, smashing job. There's one thing that I'm like, And it's not the blank ass shoulder pad, because that not necessarily OSL. It doesn't need to glow. but I think that your pistol here could do with something. All right, where's that Primaris Lieutenant? So here's this dude. Okay, that's not a particularly glowy gun at all. In fact, there's almost no glow around it. It's just that has a little bit of illumination, a little bit of interest there. It's not spreading light out everywhere. It's kept fairly restrained and so on. I think you could do something very similar to that. And that was the work of literally just a couple of minutes with a trial way of doing this kind of scheme. And you could definitely do something like that on here. Keep it simple, keep it stylized like the rest of what you've got. But it's worth it. Wanted to make it at even 35. Glass Show, have you just gifted some more subs? No, don't do it, dude. Don't. Yes, he has. Dude! What are you doing, man? You're an absolute menace. Can we please get some more hype in the chat for Glass Joe, RoboFish, PQ Layer, Neo Panda Gaming, and Lord Kane 06. As someone that has dyslexia, putting the capital letter at the other end of the word is really fucking harsh. Like, please no. Please no. But well done. Cheers, Glass Joe. Much appreciated. Again, thank you for shouting out there, Des. Give him a follow. If you guys haven't already, give this guy a follow. It's a cool streamer. But yeah, also get some on that shoulder pad. That's plain as fuck. Pink OSL, I think was your question. How do you get a pop pink like that blue? I would use Vallejo Sunset Red because that is the absolute best and most vibrant pink of them all. It's a game color paint. It's a little bit thick, so just thin it down well. Add in some Sickly Skin from P3 to help bring it up. But that is how I do it. Divox 2, try my first Space Marine. Would love feedback on anything. Tried a lot of new stuff. Okay. Let me go to one of the more. Here we go, a zoomed out picture. We'll go back to the other one in a sec, but I want to get a feel of the overall mini for now. Did you use oils on this? Trying to work out if you might have done for some of the recesses. There's this weird what's residue around some of those recesses. Wouldn't notice. Okay, cool. Wall Purple is not the best Crazy Yanked. How dare you? Okay. Maybe it's just where some of your highlights have sort of fuzzed it a bit. Okay, I like the colour scheme. So straight off, nice, bright, vibrant colours, big fan. Gold, black, pinky purple, yep. Solid work. Your recesses on the legs and the highlights that have come in with them are just a little bit off, and I can't quite work out why. I think it's because some of your highlights are below and some of them are above that line by the looks of it. They're tricky. You say you wouldn't know where to start with oil paints, but go and have a look on YouTube at the How to Paint Blood Angels video that I did, where we go through a lot about how to edge highlight. Now, it's my way of edge highlighting, which is very different from the heavy metal way of edge highlighting. but it looks a lot closer to what you've done here, where not everything has a highlight drawn around it. You sort of picked a few areas and done a highlight there. I would definitely give that a shot. The right leg was the first attempt, left was the second. I felt to clean it elsewhere than the back of the legs. Okay, cool. Let's look at some of the other pictures then. So we've had a quick look at the front, but we'll go back there quick. The text on a parchment is a little thick. Try to use paint that you've thinned right down, and in this case, inks are a really good way to go. Always use dark brown, not black, because it looks a little bit more faded and it doesn't look quite so stark as black. Black can look a little bit too on the nose. But otherwise, that's fine. I like the fact you've picked out the skull in the middle of the Purity Seal. I've never seen that done, so 10 out of 10. You even went for some of that lightning on the sword as well, which you can't quite see, but you've gone for it. That's good. I think your bone could do with being a brighter sort of ivory rather than the slightly yellowed bone that it is, only so it stands out more from everything else. But yeah, I like what you're doing, dude. With the chest eagle, take a wash and just trace around the eagle itself, okay? Don't worry too much about washing the eagle, but just trace around it. That way you get this nice solid border in there. It'll just separate it from the chest piece just a little bit more. Lightning was message spread 4 colours in layers, but it was all over the place. I think when I did mine, we were talking about it on stream the other day, there are like 12 stages to it. Similar effect. You know, lightning coming out of the sword. Took it slow, just nice little glazes, lots of little blends, and it's fine. Right, last one, Strata. So he's been working on Techless. Looking good, dude. Looking good. Reckon you could get away with a highlight or two more on that weird crown thing he's got going on. Really like his sword. Really like his sword. Captures that proper elven steel kind of blue look to it, which I really like. The eyes. Let's go look at these big old blue eyes. Somewhere around here. This is really solid. Yeah, really good work. Notice how in these areas Lee has put some like darker lines. So just coming down the inside of that nose, a little bit of darkness there, just as it comes into the eye there. Tiny bit of darkness. This helps to retain the shape of this. Yeah, gives you that detail and retains it. You could, if you could, so be careful. Just do the same thing, literally just under the eyeball. Because when you get up close, you see all of that, and they've sculpted a very good set of eyes on Techless. But just to give a little tiny bit more, just that line under there, both sides. Try and even out the white on the pupils as well. You've got some white ink. That's the perfect tool for this right now. But looking good. Looking real good. The gem, nice. Very nice. Overall, mate, really good work. Sorry, folks. ABY Tom, cheers. He was in front of his beast thing and didn't have his hands up. Fair. I don't like the model overall, the Techless model. I think it's a little bit silly, but you know, I appreciate that. I'm also not someone that likes the cow elf range. So Right, on Thursday stream, we'll be working more on this Dragsta. I'm going to get a little bit of work done off stream if I can. Finish off the Ork boys, we'll get them sat in there, ready to go. Then we can get things like the missiles done, we can get the highlights done. And more importantly, on Thursday, we can do a load of object source lighting on this bad boy. So, lots of fun things left to do. Tune in then, we're going to be live at 9 PM on Thursday. Same bat time, same bat channel, all that shit. For now, though, let's go find somebody else that's streaming. It's got to be my boy. It's got to be my boy. So, this is a, as he would put it, clutch individual. And this is the guy. Why am I trying to type raid in his chat? If it wasn't for this guy, I would not be streaming. That simple. So when we get there, please strongly represent the meeps. Get all of the meeps in the chat. Flood that chat with meeps. I want to see my cat on Kenny's stream. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.